Alright, so picking up on that last problem, I went ahead and plugged everything in. Um, 25 degrees is not on the unit circle, so I'm going to go ahead and just type those into my calculator. So I have 35 times 0.906 and 0.423 plus 50 times, since 120 is on my unit circle, I can use those values or I can go ahead and type them into my calculator. It does not matter, since the other one you had to type it in the calculator anyways, you will eventually be typing this one in. If I go ahead and distribute for each of those, my 35 on these, I get 31.71 and 14.81, plus over here I get negative 25, and then 25 radical 3. Then when I add those, so at this point if I have not typed this into my calculator, the radical 3, I will, I get 6.71 and 58.11. So component form of the sum of u and v. So I actually used magnitude and the direction angle for each one to find u and v, and then I added them. Find the angle between the given vectors. So between v and w, so I need to actually look at where those are, since I'm not just trying to find my direction angle, I'm actually trying to find the angle that's between the vectors. V is at 1, 1, and then W is at 3 and negative 1. So that was V, this is W. To find the angle between them, this theta, I actually need this third side over here, and I'm going to treat it just like a triangle and do law of cosines. So if you remember trying to find the angles, so cosine of theta is going to equal, and then I'll need the length of v squared, so that's actually the magnitude, plus the length of w squared, so again that's the magnitude, minus the length of, I guess we should call this something, we'll call that u, of u squared, since that's the side across from the angle, all over 2 times, and instead of a and b, it's my lengths of those two sides, so magnitude of w and magnitude of v. So let's plug those in. So I get, you might want to know this formula, by the way. So I get cosine of theta equals, the magnitude of v should be radical 2. So I have radical 2 squared, which let's just go ahead and say I have 2, plus, so that was radical 2. The magnitude, of w should be square root of 9 plus 1, so square root of 10, which would just be 10, minus the magnitude of u. If I look over here, u is 2, negative 2. So my magnitude would be the square root of 4 plus 4, or the square root of 8. Squared is just going to be 8. All over 2 times, in this case it's still going to stay as radical 2 and radical 10. So 2 plus 10 is 12, minus 8 is 4, over 2 times radical 20, which I could actually simplify my radical 20 to be 2 radical 5, which would make this 4 radical 5, which means it's actually 1 over radical 5. You could rationalize that if you want and do radical 5 over 5, or you can use it here because this is not your final answer. Remember, cosine of theta equals this, so you're doing cosine inverse of, again, either 1 over radical 5 or radical 5 over 5. It does not matter, you're going to get the same answer. When I do cosine inverse of that, I get that theta equals 63.43 degrees. So all we did here when I asked for the angle between was I needed to draw the picture and make it into a triangle so that I could use law of cosines. And that's exactly what I did, except for that instead of having a number here that was given, I had to find that length, which is just like finding the magnitude when it's a vector.